makes golf look like a video game cheat code. He's not the longest off the tee, not the loudest on tour, yet every iron shot hunts the flag like it's pre-programmed. So, how does Collin Morikawa keep dismantling fields with precision while others chase speed and chaos? 2 majors before 25. World numb. 2 within 3 years. But then came the slump that almost threatened everything. What broke and what brought him back? Let's rewind. Morikawa's game is built on precision, not power. He turned consistency into a weapon so reliable that, for a while, it felt unfair. But here's the twist. When his putting went cold and his drive started missing fairways, it felt like the cheat code had glitched. He had to solve his biggest bug in real time, in front of the world. We'll get to the slump first. Let's briefly talk about the making of the wizard. Los Angeles, the 6th of February 1997. A calm, disciplined kid with Japanese and Chinese roots, raised on respect and focus. He grabbed a club at 5 at Chevy Chase Country Club in Glendale and never really put it down. By high school, he had a reputation. Cool-headed, disciplined, and already known for his laser-sharp precision. Before college, everyone expected him to join a golf giant like UCLA or Stanford, the flashy powerhouses that dominate junior recruiting. But Morikawa went another way. He picked UC Berkeley instead, quieter, less glamorous, but perfectly aligned with his discipline. It wasn't just a choice, it was a mindset. And at Berkeley, he didn't just play, he owned it. 5 collegiate wins, 4-time All-American, a Byron Nelson Award finalist in 2018, short stint as World Amateur No-1 titles like the Trans-Mississippi Amateur, Palmer Cup and Walker Cup for Team USA. By his 2019 Business Administration graduation, he was already tour-ready. But here's the question. In a sport obsessed with power and speed, is precision the new power? Morikawa turned pro in the summer of 2019, and what happened next would shock everyone. Most rookies need months, even years, to find their footing. But Collin? He made 22 consecutive cuts right out of the gate. That was some serious proof of consistency. Just weeks later, he bagged his first PGA Tour win at the Barracuda Championship. The hype was real. His game wasn't a fluke. Solid, steady, and ready for any course on the planet. What exactly makes his irons look coded? It's not magic, it's control. He manipulates trajectory like code, controls height, locks the club face, and fires down the exact line he visualizes even when the pressure is highest. Then one weekend changed everything. 2020, just one day after turning pro. Workday, Charity Open. A duel with Justin Thomas that turns into a playoff. Morikawa wins. The field notices. A month later, came the moment, the one that turned heads and made people believe in his potential. The PGA Championship, his second major start. The pressure was massive, the names ahead of him bigger. But what happened that Sunday would become legend. He shot a 64, the lowest final round by a PGA champion in 25 years, capped by a fearless drive on the par 4 16th that set up an eagle. When it dropped, so did Jaws. At just 23, Morikawa was holding the Wanamaker Trophy. Few in history had climbed that fast. 2021 starts with the WGC Workday Championship. He wins against a stacked field. July, Royal St. George's, a setting that would test even legends. It was his first Open Championship start. Could he handle the pressure? What unfolded next answered that question. He outduels Jordan Spieth and lifts the claret jug. And here's the stat that stunned everyone. He became the only man to win both the PGA Championship and the Open in his debut appearances at each. By year's end, he had multiple PGA Tour wins, 2 majors, the Race to Dubai crown, and a climb to World No. 2 3 years in, he has a resume guys chase for 20, but precision has a price. What happens when the magic starts missing? When the irons are perfect, but the putter betrays? And then the cheat code glitched. 2022 hit Morikawa like a wake-up call. He was always in the fight, but for some reason, the wins just wouldn't land. Then, at the 2023 Century Tournament of Champions, Morikawa looked untouchable 6 shots clear heading into Sunday. Then, the unthinkable happened. The lead vanished. The win slipped away. One of the biggest 54-hole collapses the PGA Tour had ever seen. For nearly 2 years, it was the same story. Close, but not enough. The swing was pure, the irons world-class, yet something kept breaking at the finish line. Even cheat codes, it seemed, can glitch. When power dominates every leaderboard and every swing is built for speed, can control still win in a world-chasing distance? Morikawa went back to the drawing board, tweaking his clubs, his routine, even his headspace. But did it fix anything? October 2023. After nearly 2 years of close calls and frustration, Morikawa finally broke through. The drought ended at the Zozo Championship in Japan. For most players, it was just another PGA Tour stop. For him, it was home. A win that carried the weight of his Japanese heritage and a reminder that the fire was still burning. But was it the turning point everyone thought it was? 2024 gave us the answer. He didn't lift another major trophy, but the rhythm was back, the precision, the calm, the quiet confidence that every swing could be the one. Week after week, he hovered near the top multiple top 10 seconds, a handful of near misses, proof of just how hard it is to win even when you're playing world-class golf. Yet, here's the thing. Morikawa's edge has never just been about wins. His approach shots? Consistently closer than almost anyone else on tour. That means more birdie looks, more control, more pressure on everyone around him. And it's paid off over $42 million in career earnings. Add in partnerships with TaylorMade, Adidas, Omega, and Therabody, and you start to see how Collin Morikawa's precision makes him one of the most dependable players of golf. Off the course, Collin is as calm as his swing. In 2022, he married longtime partner Catherine Zhu, cementing that quiet, centered life he's known for. But even the calmest waters have ripples. In 2025, he parted ways with longtime caddy JJ Jakovac, the man behind every major, every win, every big moment. The breakup surprised everyone. Was it the reset his career needed, or a risk that could backfire? If his past tells us anything, it's this. His game isn't built on a physical power that fades. It's built on repeatable code that ages well. At 28, he's already checked boxes most never do. He's been as high as world number 2. Through most of 2025, he's hovered inside the world's top 10 without needing a win to prove the form is real. So, what comes next? More majors? A run at world number 1? Or a new code entirely? Whatever it is, the world's watching. The cheat code isn't broken, it's evolving.